Welcome to another video. In today's video, I want to look into the phrase, I can support you. I want to talk about the intention that actually can stand behind it, the meaning, okay? And most probably you have felt this already as well, but how do you deal with that, right? How do you actually go forward with that while you already know that you may need that support? Is this actually good for you? Let's have a look. My name is Patricia. I'm a certified life coach. And if you're new on my channel, then hit that subscribe button so you get weekly updates and new videos that actually support you on your own journey. Never forget, it is a journey. It's not a one-off. It takes time. It takes practice. And I believe that this channel is actually quite good to go forth and back and find other people who may have similar issues than you do. You see, most of us have these issues. The only difference is we don't really talk about it. And so this channel is here for that we talk about it because it's human, okay? We all have those kind of feelings. We all sometimes don't know how to deal with the trauma. We all don't know sometimes how we deal with anger or frustration or pain. How can we raise up, right? I mean, how can we grow out of those kind of states that just make us miserable? Well, it is a training. And so let's start with this one, right? So let me make a practical example of I support you, right? So assuming you may need support, and at one point you find someone who is actually giving you support. And the support will be something like, yes, I'm giving you support, X, Y, Z, and I'm doing this for, I don't know, for the team or for you. I'm doing this for you. And somehow you can already sense that there is something off. What I mean by that is that there isn't only the pure intention that I'm going to support you, it's rather something like I want something in return. Okay? I'm expecting something in return. Now, that person may not even know in a conscious way that they're expecting something in return. But have you ever had this kind of conversation afterwards, sometimes a year later, sometimes a few days later? Kind of like, yeah, but I did so much for you. I've done this and this and this, and you're not doing anything for me. Like, huh? And that's actually when you kind of feel like, okay, I felt, or I knew this in the beginning, but as you phrased it back then was clearly that you're supporting me while not actually expecting anything in return. And so there gets this kind of confusion on where this is coming from. You see, so sometimes people actually they try to, with this I help you, they try to prove the worth of themselves, so they are worthy of your love, for example, or they are worthy of being in this team or in this family, or it's all about the worthiness, and it's all about the validation they get out of this help from you. And if they're not getting it, then they can get quite upset. Okay, so the suggestion is actually quite easy, right? It's see, when we are looking around for support, and we are trying from a pure level to receive support, it's not really about them, it's about you in the first place. And yes, there is a give and take. However, if you can already feel that there is something that they want out of it, if there is a condition, you can also say, like, if you sign a contract and there is something really small written, but it's unspoken, okay? It's unspoken and you don't know what they want if they do that for you, from you. So it's really all about also making this very clear what you can offer and what you can't, right? And sometimes these kind of conversation get really awkward. So you may not even want that support from those people. You see, I believe like being in charge of these conversations is so helpful and brings you in a very confident position as well. You don't have to accept any kind of help or support. You can also first check the contract, okay, the agreement you're signing off before taking any help, any support. If that is financial wise, if that is supporting you, I don't know, helping you on your education, teaching you something, if it is anything else, you know, baseline is make sure before you agree to something, and that can even be something between the lines, right? No, not between the lines, like something, you know, in a friendship, for example, like I come and pick you up with the car and I'm doing this and this for you, and you're like, oh, this is great. And then all of a sudden a few days back they're like, I picked you up with the car and I did this and this for you, so I expect you to do this and this and this. And you're like, okay, we didn't agree on that. Like, you know, make sure that those things are clear before you take any kind of support like this. This has happened to many of my clients. It has happened actually as well to me, where I was all like, huh, this was never in agreement before. And if I would have known that, I would have never actually taken this. Okay. And so I did have the intuition telling me something is a bit like shaky. And I feel that that's sometimes what we are leaving out. We're leaving it out because, you know, it kind of feels good. We are getting support. Someone sees us that we need support, that we need help. And then we kind of turn away and we think like, yeah, what I feel right now is, you know, that's not true. Well, most of the times it is actually true, and that's the thing to acknowledge, right? That's like that's the red flag of not going into this, okay? Of not taking it, okay? Those are conversations that you need to have before you're taking any help, any support. Make sure that the conditions are clear. If you're not ready to do anything for that, if you're not ready to you know, support them on what they need, because you need someone who is actually here to share with you without really asking something for that, right? Because it's coming from a pure love kind of place, then that's very different, you know, to, okay, there is a condition. Now there are several possibilities here, right? I mean, you can go and look for something else or someone else. You can try to have better opportunities that actually support you even more than what you originally thought. And I think that's so important, not taking any help, okay? Being very precise in what help you need and what you're ready to actually offer in return, if at all required, okay? Don't just go blindly in, because that never really works. That is never really in your favor on the end. And especially if you have a feeling that something is already a bit shaky, then better take 24 hours, you know, sleeping one day and thinking about it in a very quiet moment, whether you are ready to take ownership of this or not, right? Now I want to know from you, have you ever been in a situation like this where, you know, you were in a friendship or in a work situation where all of a sudden some expectation arose and you were like, never really agreed on this. Like, why do you think I need to do that for you right now? You see? A lot of those things are unspoken because we don't talk about it, what we expect in return, because we feel, yeah, this is normal, while it actually is not. Your, you see, your ethics and your understanding of the world is so different than anyone else's. Expecting something in return needs to be spoken up before you even feel like, okay, this person needs to do this, this, and this. Don't do that. And don't take this for granted either, right? So you can do all of that, but make sure that you speak about it, that you talk about it, that it's clear. And if this is a serious help, make sure you have an agreement really in place, financial, whatsoever. However, this is not a financial advice platform in any way. But make sure that those kind of things are really clear, because they can really get you into deep crap and you don't want to go there. So yes, as started before, I went off a little. Let me know in the comment section if this has happened to you before, and how have you felt afterwards. Did you kind of feel betrayed, that someone is actually expecting something of you? Maybe even a friendship has ended because of this. How did that actually go for you, and what have you done to kind of solve or communicate this issue? I really want to know in the comments. Let me know, and I see you next time.